DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. Today I'm going to talk about, in this video I'm going to talk about the NCAA. Should athletes be getting paid? This is a topic that actually a week or two ago, whenever it happened, that the kid Zion Williamson from Duke, his shoe blew up in the middle of the game. He hurt his knee, and as of this recording, he hasn't played in the game since. And then, of course, the talking heads, TV shows, and I'm sure podcasters, I'm sure a bunch of YouTubers and everybody else had a say in should he even continue to play was one question. The other question was, should athletes in the NCAA be getting paid since they're, risking their possible futures when they will be getting paid by playing in the NCAA? Like Zion, he could have got hurt or had a more serious hurt than what he actually got with that knee injury with the shoe blowing out. So there are two answers to this question. Okay, should NCAA athletes, actually it's three questions I'm answering. Number one, is it even worth it even playing college ball? Because some people were saying he should just shut it down and not play anymore. Two, should athletes be getting paid? So it's three answers I'm gonna give to two questions. You got that? All right, so the first one is, should this kid Williamson play? Well, my practical answer is he do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, I'm not an advisor to him. And I always tell people, any of y'all who've been following me long enough know that I always tell people, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm going to give you all the information. I'm going to lay it out for you. You got to decide what to do, because once you make that decision and take action or don't take action, you're the one who has to live with the results. So he has to decide ultimately. But if he came to me and said, Dre, what do you think I should do after I hurt my knee and I might mess up my chance of playing in the NBA if I hurt my knee again? What do you think I should do with the rest of my career at Duke? I would say you signed up to play for Duke. You gave your commitment to your teammates and to Coach K. You need to go play basketball. When you're healthy to play again, you need to be on the court practicing. You need to be on the court playing, because that's the commitment that you made. We can't just go, anytime that I'm not getting paid for, I'm not going to play ball, or I'm not going to play my sport or do my thing because I might get injured. Listen, you get injured walking across the street. You get injured in practice. He can get injured he can get injured after basketball season ends and before he signs with an NBA team. That's going to be April, May, June. Those 3 months, he's still going to be working out, working on his game, getting ready, getting in shape before he signed an NBA contract. He could get injured in those 3 months, just like he can get injured playing at Duke. So it can't be, he could get injured, so don't play basketball. Because it's like Michael Jordan had in his contract the love of the game clause. Is that his thing was, the Bulls can't tell me when I can and can't play basketball, because my love is to play basketball. How you gonna not play ball because you're making a whole thing about how much money you might make or how much money you might possibly lose if you get injured? If that's the whole situation, then I mean, why are you even in the game? If you play in the game only because of how much money you might make or not make in a certain period, then it's just not pure. And I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I don't know this Williamson kid. I've never met him before, but my impression of him is he's not that type of person, even though there may be people on TV, and I don't know who's around him, but a lot of people on TV seem to think, if he ain't making money, he shouldn't be doing that. That makes no sense, because a lot of them played sports and they wasn't doing that. So now all of a sudden he's supposed to do it. That makes no sense. That's my first answer. Second answer is to the second question. I got two answers to the second question, which is, should NCAA athletes be getting paid? Okay. Answer number one is on a practical level, or the emotional argument that a lot of former athletes make, especially a lot of people who, I guess, they want to position themselves as advocates for young African Americans, because we're talking about revenue producing sports like football and basketball at the D1 level. These are the athletes I'm talking about. I'm not talking about lacrosse or the swim team or even D3 players. I played at a D3 school. I'm talking about players at revenue producing sports at high level schools. D1 players like Duke basketball rather, maybe even Duke football, Alabama football, you know what I'm talking, sports that we watch on TV and talk about and buy jerseys and tickets and stuff like that. So the answer to the question, should they be getting paid? Practically, yes. The practical answer is they should be getting paid. Actually, that's not the practical answer. That's more of the emotional answer. Let me retract that. The emotional answer is yes, they should be getting paid, because on a practical level, we see that the money is there. All the money that people spend to support these teams, the boosters who give money to the universities, the boosters who give money to the players that illegally, quote unquote, illegally under the table when they're not supposed to, as much money as the coaches are making, as much money as people are paying just to watch the games, the ticket sales, the TV deals, as much money goes into March Madness, all these college football games, the bowl games, all these things. There's plenty of money to go around. The only problem with the whole system is that none of it's going in the pockets of the people who are actually playing in the games. So I believe that if the coaches can get paid, the players on an emotional level they can afford to pay them if they can afford to pay the coach. If the coach is getting paid, the players should be getting paid something. They don't even have to be getting paid millions, because you will have to figure out a system who's worth what. If you're going to make it an open system where there's an open market and players just negotiate their salaries, or is it going to be a set system where every player on each team is going to make this amount? Or if you play for Duke, you're going to make this much. If you play for Alabama, you're going to make this much. Play for LSU, you play for USC, you play for UCLA, this is how much you make. Is it going to be one set number for everybody at a certain level or on a certain team, or is it going to be an open market? But there's the players, the bottom line answer is, before we go too deep into that, is the players should have an opportunity to get paid because they're driving revenue. All right, their play is driving revenue to the school. They should be getting a piece of that action. That's just the bottom line. And if some people say, well, yeah, the scholarship, you get a scholarship in exchange for playing. Well, here's the thing. What Zion Williamson is bringing to Duke in terms of revenue, in terms of money, in terms of brand value, is worth more than all 4 years of a Duke scholarship put together. Okay, so that argument doesn't hold water. So you can't say that what they're giving as a player equates to the scholarship. It doesn't equate, because an Alabama football player is bringing more money into the university than that scholarship is even worth in paper value. So that is not an argument that they're getting a scholarship. However, you need to hold that thought, because there's another answer that I said I'm going to give to this question. So the emotional answer, and I'm not saying emotional is right or wrong, is yes, they should be getting paid because the money is there and they are part of the mechanism that is bringing that money in. So since the money exists, they should be getting a piece of the action because they're doing a piece of the work. They're doing a whole lot of the work, actually. So that's answer number one. Answer number two, should athletes be getting paid? The practical answer to this question is no, they should not be getting paid. And I'm going to tell you why the practical answer is no. It's because when an NCAA athlete at a D1 level makes a commitment to go play football or basketball, because we're talking about those sports, at a big-time school, they sign a letter. Now, I'm not talking about the letter of intent. I'm talking about the actual scholarship as a contract. When you get a scholarship in college sports, there's a contract that you sign that says, I am making a commitment to play football or basketball at XYZ school, and in exchange for me playing my sport, you're going to subsidize my education. My room and board, my tuition is all paid for. I don't have to pay for anything. And maybe you get a little bit, I don't know if you get a stipend when you're on a scholarship for a D1 sport. I don't know, because I didn't play D1 sport. But there's a contract that you sign. There's an agreement that you made that says, I'm getting a scholarship in exchange for playing on this team. And the reason I'm bringing that up is to, just on a very rational, practical level, so that everybody understand, no player has ever accepted a scholarship against his will. So any D1 football or basketball player out there who might not feel the fact that they're not getting paid, or they don't like it, or any fan or parent out there that doesn't like that the players are not being paid, listen, the players agreed to the deal. The deal is, we give you a scholarship, you play. You want it? Yes or no? You can say no. You can say, look, I don't want that. I'm going to go do something else. You could be Brandon Jennings and go overseas. You could be, I forget the kid's name who signed with Rich Paul, and he wasn't going to go to Syracuse, but then he got an internship with New Balance. You could do something like that. You could be like LeVar Ball, who took his kids out of college and went and did something so they can make some money. I don't know how much they made overseas, but they made money through their family brand, through their family business. You can do it that way. And that's one thing that a lot of people, of course, have had a lot of ridicule for LeVar Ball, but he's the one person that I've seen that actually did something in starting that JBA league. Who knows how good of a league it is, or how long it's going to last, or if they're even going to continue to make money. But he did something to give players an alternative to going to college and where they could actually make money. He's the only one who's actually put his feet where his mouth was. A lot of people be on TV and YouTube and podcasting on social media doing all this talking about why players should be getting paid and how they're using the players, making money off the backs of the players. But those people, all that talking, they ain't doing nothing. LeVar Ball actually did something, and we got to commend him for doing that, no matter how you feel about him otherwise. He's the only one I saw who actually did something. And the point that I'm making here, and LeVar Ball will probably agree with this, is listen, if you agree to take the scholarship in exchange for being on the team, then how you going to complain? You can't complain that you got a scholarship in exchange for playing when you agreed to the scholarship. It's not like they pulled a bait and switch on you and said, yo, we're going to give you $1 million, and then you get to Duke and they're like, oh no, instead of $1 million, we're going to give you a scholarship. No, you knew what the deal was when you took the deal. So you can't complain about it after the fact. And then I see ex-college players, guys who played in the NCAA, played in the league, in the NFL or the NBA, then they retired, then they get on TV and they start talking about how it's such an unfair system. Like, yo, you went through the exact same system. You wasn't saying that when you was playing, but now all of a sudden that you on TV and you're a talking head and you want to signal to the culture that you're in support. Now you want to say no, this and that. about how it's an unfair system. Like, that's bullshit. Like, you wasn't saying that when you were playing. I don't hear too many players even saying nothing because they know that they took the deal. Is when they get to the NBA, then all of a sudden they got all these gripes that they want to make about the college system. Like, yo, you didn't have to go through the college system. Nobody made you do that. You chose to. Now, granted, going overseas or playing in the G League, those are not great alternatives to the NCAA. I mean, if I'm a basketball player and I'm trying to get on hooping, I'm trying to make a career out of hooping, my best avenue is going through the NCAA. Even though I'm not getting paid, even though they're making money off my back, even though I run the risk of getting injured and messing up my potential professional earnings, it's still the best option. It's a better option than going overseas because sometimes you don't know what the hell is going on overseas and they don't have a structure for players like me. And it's better than going to the, I don't think the G League is the best option. I don't think the money is even worth the trade-off, and I'm not sure the quality of play is even worth it, and the visibility. You're not even going to be seen by people as much, at least by the fan base. And as much as these days, especially in basketball, players want to build their personal brands and be a business to themselves outside of their sport, you want that visibility that comes with playing in college. Like Zion playing in college right now, he can't get that. He couldn't get that playing in the G League. Even if he was the same player doing the same things that he's doing, it would not equate and it wouldn't help build his brand as much. And as much as that matters to players these days, I think that's a point that has to be made. So that's my answer to the question. Should college basketball players be paid? Emotionally, yes, it makes sense because the money is there, but rationally, no, because they accepted the deal. And I tend to be a practical thinker on things like this. If you accept the deal that says you don't get paid, then you can't bitch about it when you're in the middle of the deal. You signed it, you agreed to it, that's what it is. If you didn't want it, you want to get paid, you don't like that deal, don't take the deal, go do something else. What? I don't know. Go call LeVar Ball, do whatever you got to do, sit out for a year and work on your game, but you can't bitch about an agreement that you accepted. Bottom line, work on your game. DreAllDay.com. My book, Work on Your Game, Using the Pro Athlete Mindset to Dominate in Business, Sports, and Life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook 100% done by me. You have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.